Brothers and sisters, we'll be starting the teaching very soon, within the next 5 minutes. So after I invite Khenpo Rangdol to join us at this meeting, although it's actually an online teaching, we will still do the 3 prostrations to Khenpo Rangdol before he begins the teaching. Okay? So, brothers and sisters, if you need to choose the various languages that the teaching will be translated into, all right, you just go to below your screen. You put your mouse somewhere near the bottom of the screen. You will be able to see one whole row of icons, all right? And then there's actually one that resembles a globe. You click on it.
Quý vị có thể chọn cái biểu tượng ở dưới cái màn hình của mình để chọn cái ngôn ngữ để mình có thể lắng nghe. Cái ngôn ngữ mà mình lựa chọn ở đây có tiếng Anh, tiếng Việt và tiếng Trung. Và quý vị có thể chọn tiếng Việt hoặc là tốt nhất là chọn tiếng Việt hoặc là nghe tiếng Anh. Ở đây có cả tiếng Trung và tiếng Tây Ban Nha.
Brother Alex, can you say a few words?
Anh Alex nói một vài lời.
Yes. I'm going to translate what you just said.
Something isn't working because I shouldn't be hearing you.
It's not working.
Yes.
I can hear you clearly, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have separate rooms.
Spanish room?
Let me try again.
Yeah, I can see Spanish here.
Okay, wait, brother. Let me just do something, and then.
Yes, please.
Cái buổi giảng pháp này thì là ban tổ chức được đặt ở Singapore cùng với thầy thì ở Ấn Độ và các phiên dịch thì ở Việt Nam, Tây Ban Nha và Trung Quốc. Thầy thì sẽ nói bằng tiếng Anh và các phiên dịch sẽ dịch ra 3 thứ tiếng khác nhau. Quý vị đạo hữu có thể lựa chọn cái ngôn ngữ mình có thể nghe được tốt nhất là tiếng Anh hoặc
Okay. It should be working now already.
Quý vị người Việt Nam không biết là có nghe được không? Nếu mà quý vị có câu hỏi gì hoặc là có.
No, yes.
Yes, it's already working. So fine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. With that, I shall proceed to invite Khenpo Rangdol.
Okay. Muy buenos días. Nuestro presentador recomienda que al momento de ingresar a Khenpo Rangdol podemos hacer 3 postraciones como si estuviéramos en presencia de él.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Khenpo, we can hear you. We can see you very well.
Okay.
Everything is
Okay.
fine. So you take a short rest while we actually do the 3 prostrations to you. So brothers and sisters, please proceed to do the 3 prostrations to Khenpo Rangdol. Thank you very much.
在我们开始今天的开示之前呢，我们请各位佛友来一起向我们今天的主讲上师Khenpo Rangdol来进行3顶礼。
Pasidele, Rinvochela, Machuchurin.
Brothers and sisters, please mute your conversation. We are starting the teaching already. Please mute your conversations.
Okay. A very good evening to the Asian Dharma brothers and sisters, and good afternoon to the European Dharma brothers and sisters, and very good
各位
morning to
佛友，就是大家晚上好。
before my teaching start, I would like to
在我开始今天教授之前，
the prayers of the triple Jin prayer, which we have to
我要念诵一个
Buddha Dharma Sangha, and the people who knows the Refugee Prayer, and then you can also follow with me. Otherwise, you can just remember the qualities of Buddhas and remember the kindness of the all Buddhas and Bodhisattva. So then after prayer, so I will begin my teachings. Zangye Jodan Zoge Jonan Janjum Bandan Dan Gabzunch Dagi Jinzo Gibe Zonamangi and Tola Benja Zange and Sangye Jodan Zoge Jonan and Janjum Bandan Dan Gabzunch Dagi Jinzo Gibe Zonamangi and Tola Benja Zange and Jordan Zoge and Jonan Janjum Bandan Dan Gabzunch Dagi Jinzo Gibe Zonamangi Dola Benja Zange and Robara Zaze Wadan Jojin Javadan Jesu Iran Gurjin So Gewa Jonze and Dagi Jezamba and Amje and Zob Janju Jimboro Ominjagi Gewadan Dozuzange Wingimo Ransom Chokom Zodanze Zawe Lame Jabla Gujanze Rime was a Dugi Gundo Mande Mobonja Tamje Zibo Gugin Chogisi Yame Drikung Rinje Gujanze Saraya Dadun Shindani Boyjon Sharaba Jone Lion Nazo Rangdol Zoga Chogi Dabe Jabla Gujanze Juno Gole Changwa Boy Shendane Rabde Jiden de Mumunze Wajambe Yangla Gujan So today, starting from today on the December the 10th, and as everybody knows that today is very auspicious day, that 32 anniversary of the Dalai Lama received Nobel Peace Prize. On this occasion day, I'm very fortunate to start these precious teachings of Gongchig on this particular day. Actually, I didn't share any online teaching over a year since my health, my personal health issue, physical health issue, but mentally I always have been strong and always managed to remain in the peace. The reason why I decided to start this the Gongchig teaching is actually the Gongchig is very profound teachings, one of the most important teachings in the Kagyu lineage, and as well as particularly in the Drikung Kagyu lineage. Over the years during my visit to various countries, and many of my Dharma friends and the students, they request me to give teachings, and even some of the students from Singapore, when I visited 2 years back, they really seriously requires me to teach on Gongchig, and some of them asked me to come back to Singapore and stay a few months to teach Gongchig, but I know I cannot stay that long due to some other activities that I always have to travel. But I thought this is a good opportunity to share the Gongchig teachings through online, since we have wonderful new technology systems. The teachings, the session will be actually very short. I mean, only 15 sessions. Usually, when we teach Gongchig at the monastery, at our Kagyu college, in order to complete the commentary, mainly we teach at our monastery based on the commentary which composed by Dharmakirti, the first reincarnation of His Holiness the Drikung Chongsang. It takes about more than a year to complete that commentary. But I know it is very difficult to give teachings in detail in 15 sessions. But however, I try my best. I just would like to go through the root text of the Gongchig, which has 8 chapters and 150 Vajra statements, and as well as 46 Vajra statements to the additional chapter. So altogether about 200 Vajra statements. I don't know how I can complete this Vajra statement, but I will try my best. Day before yesterday, actually, we had a meeting along the translator, and also we had a long discussion. Shall we better to complete in this 15 session hall the Gongchig text in a very short, with the short explanations, or shall we just give only maybe just the few chapters teachings which we can explain in detail, and the rest of the chapter we can teach maybe next year or some another time. But then finally we decided to teach whole Gongchig in these 15 sessions with a brief explanation. So I know it's not going to get a full understanding of the Gongchig within this short period of time, but I'm sure many of you will learn something about the Gongchig and the uniqueness of the Jigten Sumgon, his view. And then I'm sure many of you will get some kind of like seeds, so the planting a seed on your basic consciousness, so that it will inspire you to learn about Gongchig in the future. So then if you would like to study about Gongchig in detail, so I'm sure so we can teach in the future with more sessions. So so without taking much time, I would like to begin the main teachings of Gongchig. Basically, the Gongchig means, Gongchig is the Tibetan terms, Tibetan words. In English, sometimes we call one intention. Sometimes we call singular thought. Which means sometimes we call also the one view or same view. So that is the word stand for Gongchig. The Gongchig is the teachings of the Lord Jigten Sumgon, who was the founder of the Drikung Kagyu lineage. I'm sure many of you know about Jigten Sumgon. I think no need to mention, even if I need to tell the story of Jigten Sumgon, we have not enough time. Jigten Sumgon, he born in the year of 1143, and he passed away 1217 at the age of 75. And Jigten Sumgon is one of the great one of the great Kagyupa master, and Jigten Sumgon was prophesied by the Buddha in the Sutra and Tantras, so that he is the reincarnation of Nagarjuna. So we call Jigten Sumgon as a second Nagarjuna. And also many the Tibetan great master such as Guru Pema Sambhava and the many other masters also prophesies Lord Jigten Sumgon. He is a real reincarnation of the great master, the founder of the middle way, the Nagarjuna. So we call Jigten Sumgon as a second Nagarjuna. The Jigten Sumgon, his guru is the Pangmudruva. So Pangmudruva is the reincarnation of the third Buddha, Kashyapa. And Jigten Sumgon only he managed to spend with his root guru Pangmudruva, I think 1 year and 6 months, which is 1.5 years, not longer than that. But within this short period of time, so Jigten Sumgon, he received all the pit instructions and all the important teachings and pit instructions from the Pangmudruva. So he received within this short period of time. But that is clearly, we can see that once the guru's blessings, and then also the disciples, the devotions, and then the connection comes together, we no need to spend long time along with the guru within a short period of time, so we can receive the complete the teachings or realizations within this short period of time. So that is one example that Jigten Sumgon spent very short time with his root guru Pangmudruva. So this the Gongchig text is actually not directly written by Lord Jigten Sumgon. It is compiled by one of his most closest disciple, we call Changma Sharab Jungne. Sometimes also we call Changma Drikung Limpa. So actually Drikung Limpa or Changma Sharab Jungne is the same person. And Chenga means actually Chenga is the Tibetan words again. Chenga means the disciple who always stay closer to the master. Chenga means like closer, who always stay closer with the master. That means Chenga. So there were actually the many Chenga, the disciple of Jigten Sumgon, 8 Chenga and 12 Chenga. So but the most important, the closest disciple is the Changma Sharab Jungne and the Changma Thakpa Jungne. So these two, the disciples are the most important disciples of Jigten Sumgon. So then Jigten Sumgon, all the teachings are compiled by his disciple Changma Sharab Jungne, much later the parinirvana of Lord Jigten Sumgon. So when he compiled this this Gongchig, is one occasion the Changma Sharab Jungne was I think he was traveling to the eastern part of the Tibet, which we call Kham area, and then he met one of the great master. I can't remember exactly who he was. But that the one of that master, he asked Changma Sharab Jungne is that who is your master? What is the view of your master? What is the practice of your masters? What is the conduct of your master? So when this master asked Changma Sharab Jungne, then he thought this is the time to compile all the teachings of the Lord Jigten Sumgon. So then he started compiling all the teachings of the Gongchig by Changma Sharab Jungne. And actually Changma Sharab Jungne, he composed 5 different kind of commentaries on Gongchig, 5 different kind of commentaries on Gongchig. And then of course the later on many other masters such as Changma Dorje Sherab, he composed another commentary on Gongchig, and Changma Rinchen Changchuk, the Gongchig commentary called Rinchangma, and then also other Kagyupa master such as the Ed Karmapa Mikyo Dorje. So he also composed the Gongchig commentary, and then another Karma Kagyu side, the Jamar, fourth Jamar reincarnation, the Chogitakwa. And then also from the Nyingma side, Khenpo Kunpal also composed commentary on Gongchig. So there are many commentaries on Gongchig. So it can see clearly the Gongchig is one of the most important topic. And then also the Jiten Sumgon, where he explained is something amazing. So it cannot compare with the masters. The reason why the Jiten Sumgon, his teaching is so unique, and why the Gongchig is so precious, I would like to give two reasons why the Gongchig is so unique. Because later on, when we go through the Gongchig, you can see that. So Jiten Sumgon always he give his teachings based on the teachings of Buddha. I think during the time of Lord Jiten Sumgon, I think there were many the master they try to kind of make their own teachings popular than maybe more than the Buddha's teachings, you know. So therefore, as we know that sometimes we call the Vajrayana, sometimes we call Tibetan Buddhism, and some people also call that Lamaism, you know. So because the Tibetan Buddhism is mainly depending on the lamas, so therefore it's called the Lamaism. So each lama, you see like Kagyupa and Nyingmapa, Sakyapa, and Gelugpa. Within the also the Kagyu lineage, there are like Drikung Kagyu, Drukpa Kagyu, Taglung Kagyu, Kangwa Kagyu, and so forth, you know. So then each of the lineages, each of the schools has different kind of the ritual performance, different kind of chanting prayers. So and sometimes also they believe their, I mean the lineage, the teachings are more precious than the Buddha, you know. So which is, I think, absolutely that's kind of like wrong, you know. So there is not precious teaching above the Buddha's teachings. So therefore, Jiten Sumgon always say we have to the best on the Buddha's teaching. Whatever even Buddha said that even we want to make a tanka, or maybe even we want to build a stupa or statue, whatsoever, we have to make according to what the Buddha's mentioned in the Tantra and Sutrayana, you know. So therefore, this is something very unique teachings of Jiten Sumgon, that he always emphasized we have to stick with the Buddha's teachings, based on Buddha teachings, so we have to explain. That's the one thing. And then second, the uniqueness of the Jiten Sumgon teaching is, so all of these, the Vajra statements are combined with the four logic. So Tibetan we call tsema. Tsema means logic. And then in Sanskrit, it called pramana, if I'm not mistaken, you know, pramana or logic. Each of the Vajra statements combined with the four logics. The first one is that the logic of, we could say that whatever Jiten Sumgon he taught, the best on the Buddha's teachings. So this is the first logic. So without the best on the Buddha's teaching, so Jiten Sumgon, he never say any single word. So whatever he taught, so he always based on the Buddha's teaching, and particularly the one of the sutra, it called Konchok Sekpa. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the text in Sanskrit, but Tibetan we call it Konchok Sekpa. So Jiten Sumgon always he taught the best on the sutra called Konchok Sekpa. And then the second, the logic is that whatever Jiten Sumgon he taught, the best on the teachings of Guru, which is Guru, the Pangmotuba. So whatever Jiten Sumgon he taught, so the best on the teachings of Pangmotuba. So that's the second logic. So if you would like to study in detail about Gongchig. So then we also have to study on Phangmoduba's the teachings as well, you know. So when we study on Phangmoduba's the teachings, we can find all of the related to the teachings from the Gongchigs. Also, it can be appear in the Phangmoduba's teachings as well. And the third logic is one of the most important one is whatever Jiten Sumgon he taught based on his experience, you know. Without experiencing, the teachings are, I would say, like just like a reflection, like you know, the reflection of the moon in the water. We can see the moon in the water, the reflection we can see in the water, but it's not functionable, you know. So similar to that way, so without experience, if we try to say 1,000 words, it doesn't make much sense. So therefore, whatever Jiten Sumgon, I remember one of the quotation from the Jiten Sumgon teaching, he said that whatever I taught in the assembly of Sangha, he said that that's the Tibetan, the words that Jiten Sumgon said. So the meaning is that whatever I taught in the assembly of the gathering of the Sangha, so without experiencing of them, I never share, you know. So that means whatever he taught, so he taught always based on his experience. That's more important. So because when we talk with experience, so that the experience is connected with our feeling, you know. So when the teachings is connected with
感受，当教法基于
example, the relation with the parents and their children, relation with the guru and disciples are so strong. Why? Because of the feeling. Because of this, the feeling, it makes a big difference, you know. So that is one of the most important, the logic of experience. And the fourth, the logic is the interdependent origination, which means, so each of the Vajra statements actually has different kind of related stories. So especially when you study about the Gongchig, the one of the biggest, the Gongchig commentary is actually this one. This one is published from Tibet. It's called the Gongchig Nangze Ishedome. This is the one of the biggest one. So here, so each of the Vajra statement, you can see the kind of related different kind of stories. Some stories are related to Buddha's life story. Some stories are related to the Tibetan lamas. Anyway, all the Vajra statements are they are kind of related with different kind of stories. So these are the four logics. So therefore, we can see clearly why Jiten Sumgon, the teachings of the Gongchig is so unique and so special and so profound is because all the teachings of Jiten Sumgon are combined with the four logics. So I hope it's clear for you. I hope it's not difficult for our the translator to translate at the same time when I was giving teaching. So it's a little bit difficult for them. There's no break for them, you know. So that is the uniqueness of the Jiten Sumgon. So he always emphasized on the importance of the Buddha's teachings. Of course, the Lama is one of the most important, but the reason why Jiten Sumgon, he don't want to only based on the Lama, because many of Lama are authentic Lama, but sometimes all the Lamas are not enlightened one, you know. So therefore, it can be sometimes wrong teachings, wrong explanations, and maybe there are also might be some artificial lamas. You know, nowadays we can see all different kind of things in the market. Some products are original, some are artificial. So similar to that way, so we can find all sort of lama, all sort of gurus. So therefore, so we have to actually examine on guru. Guru also have to examine on disciples. Disciples also have to examine or analyze on the teacher, whether the teacher is qualified or not, before you, especially before you receive like tantra, the teachings or empowerment, you know. So once you receive empowerments or teachings from the certain gurus, and then you have to keep all the samaya or commitments without breaking those samaya. Otherwise, the gurus and the disciples will be in a big trouble, you know. So therefore, I mean, the Buddha, since the Buddha is the omniscient one, so Buddha is awakening one, so Buddha is already enlightened one, so the Buddha's teachings cannot be wrong, cannot be mistake, is always pure and always kind of like crystal clear, all the teachings, because since he purified all the epileptic emotions, there's no, since the Buddha has, the Buddha is he has a full of wisdom, so there's no way to remain the darkness of ignorance. So therefore, Buddha's teachings are always pure and clear, and which is reliable one. So therefore, Jiten Sumgon, one of the most important, I always like when I just actually last few months ago, I read all the Jiten Sumgon's the teachings. So he always, the quote, the Buddha, he said from this sutra, he said like that, this tantra teaching, he said like that. He always the best on the Buddha's tantra and sutra. Huh? And the many of my Dharma brother sister, they know me. Actually, I always like to share Dharma teachings rather than giving empowerment or some others high tantric ritual performance, because I always believe that the teachings are the most important and one of the most the beneficial in our life. That's what I believe, and I'm just telling that with along with my own experience, you know. So when we have some kind of like the philosophy background, some teachings, so it's our way of our thinking is can be changed, and our mind, once we get to know all the teachings of the Buddha, even we don't understand in detail, even we don't experience all the meaning of these teachings, yet we can get lots of the benefits from the Buddha's teachings. So whenever we face example, like when we have a good knowledge about the impermanence, so then whenever we face some difficulties and some challenges in our life, so we can face those difficulties with our understanding of the Buddha's teachings. So because of the teachings can open our the wisdom eye, so then there's no more remaining our the narrowness, the narrow-minded one, so that our mind always can be ready to accept and all the challenges. So therefore, the listening to Dharma teaching is always important. So I hope with this coming the 15th lesson, I hope you will get some the benefit through my explanations. And then I also would like to request you to study on Gongchig, as I share on my Facebook post, if you like to study in detail, and then you have to read the Gongchig, the books. Actually, these books which I'm holding in my hand, this is the commentary of this, composed by Dharmakirti. It's called Light of the Sun, the commentary name, which actually the Professor Jan from Germany and I worked together on this Gongchig for many months, and then it's finally published recently. So I'm very happy to have this book with me, and I will also explain sometimes through this book as well. Mainly, I will just try to go through the root text. Okay, now if you have, I think I heard this root text already has been translated into Vietnamese language, and of course, I don't know other Chinese or the Spanish language, but anyway, if you have the root text, so you can look root text, and then I will going to give some explanation on this the root text. The first the chapter is Dharma Will chapter. Actually, altogether, there's, as I mentioned earlier, 7 main chapter and additional chapter, total 8 chapter. So the 7th chapter is actually giving an explanation about the 5-fold Mahamudra. Jigten Sumgon also, he said that whatever he teach, so all the teachings are combined with the 5-fold Mahamudra. Actually, this the 3rd chapter is talking about the Bodhisattva, Bodhicitta, so which is the in the 5-fold Mahamudra, the Bodhicitta. And then the 5th chapter is talking about Tantrayana, which is the Idam practice among the 5-fold Mahamudra. And then this the first and then the 6th chapter, which is the view and the practice and then action. The 6th chapter is talking about the Mahamudra and Chanjukisem, Lama Idam. Then what are others? Chanjukisem Idam Lama Chage Chambote. And then the 1st chapter and then 2nd chapter is talking about the Guru, and then the 7th chapter is talking about the dedication. So that means this 7th chapter is actually explaining about the 5-fold Mahamudra. So the 1st chapter, the Dharma Wheel has 30 Vajra statement. So reason why it called Vajra statement. The Vajra is actually the symbolic of undestroyable. Actually, you know, same as like when the Vajrapani deity, he holds in his hand Vajra. So that means the Vajrapani is the essence of all the 1,000 Buddhas in a kind of the power. So Vajrapani, he has the immense, the different kind of power which he can destroy the other obstacles, but the enemies cannot destroy the Vajrapani. So that's the kind of like symbolic, he's holding the Vajra in his hand. So similar to that way, the Vajra stand means whatever the Jigten Sumgon he taught, since he taught based on the Buddha's teachings, so it cannot be destroyed by the others, the views or other believers. So that means the Jigten Sumgon, the teachings are like a Vajra. It cannot be destroyed by others, enemy or other opposing opponent or whatsoever. So each of the Vajra statement has other views and then Jigten Sumgon views. It is very important, you know. So if you don't know what other people or the lamas or other master, what they believe, then you cannot understand what Jigten Sumgon he explained, what Jigten Sumgon he tried to give us a message of his instructions. So therefore, it is very important that we also have to know others' views so that we can also understand, we can learn what Jigten Sumgon he is explaining. So first, the Vajra statement, the others, the view is, in general, the people claim that since the Tathagata is the Lord of Dharma, he teaches things as he holds them, and thus they are like that. So the meaning is that the people claim means is the usually the many of even us in ordinary people, they believe the Buddha is like a creator. You know, many people think the Buddha is the omniscient one. Buddha, he has endowed with so many different kind of powers, so that some people say that. So Buddha can do whatever he likes. So like he can transform negative karma into positive karma. So Buddha can transform the virtue into non-virtue. And Buddha also can transform happiness into suffering, and the suffering into happiness. And also they said the Buddha also, he can transform the past time into future, and then future time into past. And then Buddha, if he like to stay, if he like to live long, he can live like forever, as like Buddha Amitayu. So without dying, he can live forever. Maybe many eons he can live on this planet. If he want to die, he can just die right now. So that means Buddha, he has immense the power, so he can do whatever he like. And then in the Gongchig, the Dosherma says that some people believe that the Buddha is like a king, you know, very wrathful king. Especially he said that wrathful king. Actually, the king is very powerful, and whatever king wants to do. He can say whatever he like. He can control where he like. So Buddha is like a king. But that is what other people believe and what other people say. Even many of, I think, the ordinary people, we also believe that, Buddha is like omniscient one. He can do whatever he like. And some people also, actually, in Buddhism, we don't believe as a creator. And in Buddhism, there's no God. But some people also believe Buddha as like God. So now this is what other people or other master, or they say like that. But the Jigten Sumgon, the view is all the teachings of the Buddha reveals the original state of the fundamental nature. So the Tibetan we call Babki Neluk. That's what the Tibetan words is called. So the Dharmakirti, he explained with the 5 reasons that why the Buddha, he cannot transform whatever he likes. So Dharmakirti, he gave the 5 reasons. The first reason is, he said that the Buddha is not like a magician or the God. If Buddha is like a magician or God, and then of course Buddha, he can do whatever whatever he like. So therefore, the many non-Buddhist people, they believe, even because we quite often we meet many Indian local people that who believe into the God, and then whatever they say, whatever they receive is given by God, So I think that most of the religions that who believe in the God or creator, so they believe everything is depending on the God. It's not, they believe like that. So therefore, the Dharmakirti, he said that the Buddha is not like a magician or a God. So therefore, he cannot transform whatever he wish or whatever he likes. That's the number one. And then the second, the reason is that Dharmakirti mentioned the Buddha, he reveals the fundamental, the nature of all phenomena out of his love and compassion. Buddha is not like a God or like a creator. Buddha just reveals the teachings of all the previous Buddhas. He just reveals, he just explain the teachings of the Buddha out of his love and compassion, so that the people get some benefits from his teachings. So he just reveals, Buddha just reveals the teachings of the Buddha. So that's the second one. And the third, the reason is the Buddha cannot change the interdependent origination of, which means the law of karma. So Buddha cannot change the law of karma. That means whatever we accumulate, so we have to go through the karma. So therefore, Buddha Shakyamuni clearly mentioned that whatever we done in our past life, we can see in this life. What will be in our next life, we can see in this life karma. So that means everything is depending on our karma. So if we accumulate positive karma, certainly we will achieve immense of happiness. If we always keep committing negative karma or the non-virtue, certainly we have to suffer a lot. So the karma is the powerful one. So that means the Buddha himself, actually, he has to depend on the law of karma. So the law of karma is the topmost. Example, in the country, some countries are ruled by the president. Some countries are ruled by prime minister or whatsoever. But the law of the government is the topmost. Even the presidents or the presidents or prime minister is actually under the law of the government, under the constitution of the government. So similar to that way, so all the Buddhas and Bodhisattva, or all we human beings or sentient beings are actually under the law of the karma. No one can go above the law of the karma. So that's very important. And the fourth, the reason that Dharmakirti he mentioned is the cause and result deceive no one. No one can deceive by the law of the karma. No one can deceive. As I remember in the teachings of this Gampopa in the jewel ornament, there mentioned one of the quotation from the Buddha Sutra. The Buddha said that actually we cannot catch the wind by rope, but yet the wind can be bind by the rope, and the sun and moon is always remain in the sky, in the space, but the sun and moon also can fall into on the earth. But the cause and effect of the law of karma cannot be deceived at all. So that means the cause and result cannot deceive. So that always remain as it is. So black is black, white is white. So the positive karma is positive. So negative karma is negative. It cannot deceive no one. So that's the Dharmakirti also said, whatever high or low rank, no matter high rank like a Lama or Buddha or Bodhisattva or king or president whatsoever, so he or she also has to follow the law of karma. And then also the low rank, example like animals or maybe ordinary people or whatsoever, we also have to follow the law of the karma. And the fifth reason, Dharmakirti, he said that, so the Buddha, he possessed the gnosis that he perceived what is not appropriate and what is the appropriate. So that means the Buddha, he has a gnosis. That means he has such a wisdom that he knows everything, what is the good one, what is the bad one, what is the appropriate one, what is the not appropriate one. He knows everything. So with this, the 5 reasons, so Jiten Songwan, he said that all the teachings of the Buddha reveals the original state of the fundamental nature. So I hope clear with that was a statement. I think I have to go faster, otherwise I cannot complete those Vajra statement. Now we jump into the second Vajra statement. So if you don't understand clearly, so I would like to request all of you, maybe you can form the group among your like Vietnamese group or Singaporean or whatsoever, and then you can also discuss among all of you, and maybe you can also exchange your thoughts and knowledge. And then also if you don't understand about some important meaning, and also as I think our Dharma brothers, James also I think mentioned that you can put your question in this the chat box, and then also so we select the questions, and then maybe I will try to explain during our next sessions, or maybe if I don't get time, and then maybe we have to find another way, another solution. Maybe we have to host extra lesson for the discussions, or maybe yesterday one of our Dharma brothers, the translator, also mentioned that we can form the group so that we can also discuss whatsoever. Maybe that part is later on we can decide it. But now the second, the Vajra statement is, the people claim that since collections of 84,000 teachings has been taught, by entering any one of these entrance gate, one would attain great awakening. So this is the others' views. The meaning is that the people claim means the people say like that. Since the collections of 84,000, actually he said that the Buddha taught altogether 84,000, the heaps of Dharma teachings, in order to subdue the 84,000 epileptic emotions. There are 21,000 epileptic emotion which occur, which comes through ignorance. In order to subdue those epileptic emotions, the Buddha taught 21,000 the heaps of Dharma teaching based on Abhidharma. And there are 21,000 epileptic emotions which occur through anger. So in order to subdue those 21,000 epileptic emotions, Buddha taught the teachings based on the sutra, 84,000 teachings, 21,000 teachings. And then there are 21,000 epileptic emotion which comes through attachment. In order to subdue them, then antidote is Buddha taught 21,000 the heaps of Dharma teachings related to the Vinaya topic. And then also there are 21,000 epileptic emotions which comes together with all these 3 poisons. And then for that also the Buddha taught the Tantra Yana teachings of 21,000, altogether 84,000 heaps of Dharma teachings, in order to defeat the 84,000 epileptic emotions. So in this case, some people say like that, some people say, or some people believe that 84,000 of the teachings are no need to practice all of them in order to achieve the Buddhahood. Awakening means the Buddha, in order to achieve enlightened mind. So in Gongchig Dosharma, so there was the others, the viewers, they give an example. If let's say if there is a big assembly hall, and which has 84,000 doors in order to enter into that hall, so we no need to enter every doors in order to go in. We can just enter into one of the door and then we can reach into the whole. Similar to that way. So some people say we no need to practice each and every teachings of the Buddha in order to achieve Buddhahood. We can just merely practice only single teachings, one teaching, that is sufficient. Example, we no need to practice you can just only practice Sutrayana, and then just practicing by the Sutrayana you can achieve Buddhahood. You no need to practice Tantrayana. And then some say like, you can just only practice Tantrayana, so you can achieve Buddhahood. You no need to practice the Sutrayana, the practice of like 6 paramitas and etc. So therefore, they just stick with particular other practices, but that's what other people believe. But the Jigten Sumgon, his view is the 84,000 collections of the teachings are all one as method of achieving Buddhahood. So Jigten Sumgon, his view is, in order to achieve Buddhahood, the one has to practice the 84,000 the collections of the teachings of Buddha. So none of the teachings cannot be abandoned. So we have to practice and we have to learn and practice each and every teachings of the Buddha. So the Jigten Sumgon, he give one example. The Dharma teachings are like medicines. So in order to, I mean, because there are, I don't know how many different kind of illnesses or how many different kind of sicknesses. There must be, I think, thousands of different kind of sicknesses. In order to treat those illnesses, there are 1,000 different kind of medicines. But if you have fever, you have to eat medicines of fever. If you have coughing, then you have to eat that medicines. If you have any others, the kind of illnesses, you have to eat particular medicines. But the one medicines cannot work, cannot deal with all the different kind of the illnesses. So therefore, the Jigten Sumgon said that you have to practice all the 84,000 of teachings, because in order to deal with 84,000 epileptic emotions, so you need 84,000 antidote of the Buddha's teachings in order to deal those epileptic emotions, in order to subdue them. So therefore, none of the Buddha's teachings have to live out without practicing. So Jigten Sumgon, the Dharma Kiti also mentioned here, nothing but all the Dharma in there entirely have to be practiced. So that means one should not never reject one of them. So one should not reject it, you know. So some people, I think some people, maybe we practitioner, we think that, oh, I'm practicing Ma Mudra, I'm practicing Dzogpa Chenpo, so I don't need other ordinary practicing. You know, they just try to reject many other practices as if that I'm a great learner or I'm a great practitioner. Sometimes also, you know, I saw like that. It's quite often in Himalayan region area, like ordinary people, ordinary like lay audience people in Ladakh or any other Himalayan region, they always keep reciting Om Mani Padme Hum. They always hold this mala, you know. I think even they, during their eating time, drinking time, even they do, when they make conversation each other, still they just keep using Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, you know, all the time. And then because they have really, I mean, the great devotion to the deity, such as like the compassion Buddha. And then in the like the Sangha community, like especially in the monastery or nunnery, it's not that much always holding the mala and always not kind of like chanting Om Mani Padme Hum as ordinary people they do, because they think we are the high we are the higher practitioner than the ordinary lay people, you know. Sometimes we think like that. So therefore, it is kind of sometimes also, there is very dangerous to arise our ego, the pride, you know. So therefore, we have to be very careful. So I think what Jigten Sung, when he tried to explain, is that we always have to pay respect to all kind of practices. One should not reject it, saying that this is the practice of the lower capacity. This practice belongs to those particular the practitioner. So we have to respect to all the practices and all the practitioners. So then we always try to apply all of them. That is the what Jigten Sung tried to mean to say. You know? The 84,000 collection of the teachings are all one, and the method of achieving Buddhahood. All of the methods of achieving. So I hope that's enough explanation. The second one, and now only demand half an hour to end our lesson. So I have to be a little bit rush, not to rush. Otherwise, you might get also, instead of receiving some explanation, might create more confusions or more. So therefore, I also have to be very careful to explain. The third, the Vajra statement is, the people claim that the three baskets and the four Tantra classes are the path that accord with the dispositions of the trainees. So that's what others view. Actually, when you look a very subtle way, very deeper way, you can see all these Vajra statements are connected to each other. You know? So this third Vajra statement is connected to the previous, the second Vajra statement. The third Vajra statement is making more. It gives a more clarifications on this the particular topic. So you can see, if you look into detail, you can see there are some connections. So that means some people claim that the three baskets, which means the three baskets are the Vinaya and Sutra and Abhidharma, three baskets, and the four Tantra classes means the four Tantra, Kriya Tantra. The first one is the Kriya Tantra, the Tibetan we call Chagyu. And then the second one is the Charya Tantra, the Chogyu, Charya Tantra. The third one is Yoga Tantra, Najogyu. And then the fourth one is Anuttara Yoga Tantra, which is Najolamiki Gyu. So all there are actually two types of Tantra. One is the New Tantra and one is Old Tantra. So New Tantra has the four classes, which I just mentioned. Those are the four Tantra. But in the Old Tantra, there's different other schools, different classes. So the meaning is that what the other people are saying is that the three baskets and the four Tantras are part that accord with the disposition of the trainees. Means the meaning is that you no need to practice all of them. Let's see, if you like to the practice like the moral discipline, and then you just if you like to practice of morality or moral discipline, you just learn the Vinaya, and then you just apply all the rules of the Vinaya and practice morality. So then just only stick with that practice, you can achieve Buddhahood. And then also some say that if you like to practice of the samadhi, or which means concentration, so you just stick on studying sutra, and that's just only practicing of this samadhi, you can achieve Buddhahood. You no need to practice the others baskets and other the tantras. And if you like to practice, if you like to train the wisdom, which is the third training, and then you just only study on Abhidharma and just only depending on that particular the study or practice, that you can achieve Buddhahood. And same as like that, all other, if you like to practice the Charya Tantra, you just stick on that practice, then only depending on that particular practices, particular one single practice, you can achieve Buddhahood. So, but the Jigten Sumgwan, his view is not like that. And as mentioned earlier, you have to practice all the 84,000 heaps of Dharma teaching. Similar to that way, what Jigten Sumgwan he says is the 3 basket and the 4 Tantra classes are the stages of the arising of the path. Yeah, the 3 baskets and the 4 Tantra classes are stages, means it's kind of like stages, as like a steps, you know. So in order to go to the roof, you have to depend on the steps, you know, first step, second steps, third steps, and then you can reach on the top roof. Without depending on those steps, you cannot just jump directly up to the top roof, you know. So similar to that way, Jigten Sumgwan, what Jigten Sumgwan saying is that, so in order to achieve Buddhahood, so you have to practice, first you have to practice like morality, and then once you stabilize on the practice of the morality, and then secondly, it is very easy to easy to practice the concentration, which is the second one. And then if you already quite popular, if you become an expert on practicing that, the second one, and then easy to arise your wisdom, the third one. And then after that, when you manage to complete all these 3, the training of these practices, then you can start practicing the Charya Tantra, and then Kriya Tantra, and the Yoga Tantra, and the Anu Yoga Tantra, step by step. And then after that, then you can reach the highest level of the Buddhahood. So therefore, all these, the 3 baskets and the 4 tantras are the like stages, you know. So you have to have practiced all of them gradually. Same as like that, you know, you cannot jump directly the first class to the 10th class. First, you have to go into maybe UKG, LKG, what do you call that, when you above the 6th age, and then when you reach the child, when they reach the 6th age, then you have to enter into 1st grade, and then 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. You cannot jump directly to the 10th grade, and you cannot go directly to the university or college level. You have to go step by step, you know. That is what Jigten Sumgwan mean to say. I hope you got it clearly. So one should not try to jump directly to the roof, you know. Then it can be cause more dangerous. I remember, because our expectation is very high. I remember at the beginning of 2000s, I used to go to Singapore, actually. I think in 2002, 3, all those years, I used to go every year to share Dharma teachings. And when I teach just kind of like simple Dharma topics, there are very few people turn up to listen to Dharma teaching, because people think these are the just basic teachings, you know. But then when the poster came out with the big topics such as, he's going to give teachings on Mahamudra or nature of mind or something. So there are more people, you know, maybe hundreds the people. So that is clearly see that our expectation is very high. Although we are lacking the practice of the basic one, yet we always try to jump on the high level of the practices. This is one of the very most important, the teachings of the Jigten Sumgwan. He later on it will come in the 6th chapter. Jigten Sumgwan said that clearly the preliminary practice are more important than the actual practices. Isn't it very interesting? You know, most people, we think that actual practice are more important than the preliminary practice. But he said preliminary practice are more important than the actual practice. So it will come later on. So I hope you understand how Jigten Sumgwan way he explained is something uniqueness, something no one will say, other master, no one will say the preliminary practice are very important. Oh, now this is the actual practice. You have to stick on the actual practice. You can just, when you are practicing the idam practice, main practice, you can forget about the other preliminary practice. Most people, masters say like that, but Jigten Sungwan is not like that, Okay, so this is the 3 baskets are 4 Tantra classes, are stages of the arising of the path. So that is the third Vajra statement. And now the 4th Vajra statement is, the people claim that the Buddha taught the 3 Dharma wills for the different types of families. So actually the Buddha Shakyamuni, he taught 3 the wills of Dharma. The first will of Dharma in Varanasi, the noble 4 noble truth. And then second, the will of Dharma will is at Rajgiri. Mainly he talked about the emptiness. And then third, the teachings of the Dharma he taught at Kushinagar and other the places about the different kind of various the topic, definite meaning and indefinite meaning. So different kind of Dharma he taught. So the people say, some people say and some people believe like that, the Dharma wheels are the Buddha taught because of their 3 types of families, 3 kinds of disciple, or 3 kinds of capacities. So therefore, the Buddha taught 3 Dharma wheels because of their 3 families of the disciples. They say like that, the Buddha taught about 4 noble truths at Varanasi because of the family of the Shavaka and Pratyeka Buddha, so which is we consider as a Hinayana. And then some say the Buddha taught at Rajgiri, second the Dharma teachings, mainly the topics about emptiness. So for the Mahayana disciples, so Mahayana family. And then third Dharma wheel Buddha taught at Kushinagar and other places, and for the different kind of families, sort of like the mix sort of disciple like Mahayana and Hinayana all together. So that's what other people say, that is because the Buddha taught 3 Dharma wheels because of the different types of families. So that means there are 3 Dharma wheels are separated to teach for those different families. So these 3 Dharma wheels are designed for those 3 different kinds of the family, 3 different types of the disciples. It's not connected each other. So therefore, there are 3 families. So, but the Jigten Sungwan, the view is the 3 wheels of the Dharma show that the realizations of the retinues are dissimilar. But the Jigten Sungwan, he said that it's not like that. Of course, it is quite true that the first time when the Buddha taught at Varanasi, there are majority of the disciples are Shavaka or Hinayana or whatsoever. And then second time, of course, there are more disciples are Mahayana. But we cannot make differences, the 3 Dharma wheel, because of the 3 the types of family. But this 3 Dharma wheels are Dharma will show that the realizations of the retinue. Realization means their inner realizations, mean their understanding level. It can be improved gradually. Example like the first time when Buddha gave the teachings of about 4 noble truths, and then the disciple got a certain kind of understanding how important the cause and effect. So mainly he talked about the 4 noble truths. And then second time when Buddha talked about the emptiness at the Rajgiri, and the disciple his inner realizations can be improved, higher level. So that means he has said that one of the Jiten Somgon, the teachings he said, Dharmakirti, he quote here, the first time when the Buddha teach the Dharma wheel, the disciples can be mature. So that means that they can become like more mature of understanding of the Dharma. And then second times when the Buddha taught at Rajgiri about the emptiness and other Mahayana teachings, so then same kind of retinue or same kind of the disciples, their understanding level will be greatly mature. So that means like more understanding, they will receive more understanding of the Dharma. And then the same disciple, when they receive the third wheel of Dharma teachings, and then the understanding will be thoroughly, greatly, they will understand more in deeper way. So that means the same kind of the person, their inner realization will be improved step by step by through this three different kind of the stages of the Dharma wheel. So it is not only designed for the particular the Hinayana and Mahayana and etc. So that's what Jiten Somgon mean to say. Now the fifth Vajra statements. The fifth Vajra statement is the people claim that the three Dharma wheels are separated and unmixed since their topics are different. I think most people believe like that, So actually, in order to understand the Gongchig, so actually you also have to study others, the many texts. Particularly, you have to study about the Sakyapa Domsum, because the many of the argument between the Gongchig and then also the Sakya Pandita, which he composed the Domsum. Domsum means actually the three vows. So in the Sakya Domsum, actually the many of these, when I say this other views means the many of the other views are shows in the Sakyapa Domsum. So there's kind of like some kind of like argument, So therefore you also have to study Sakyapa Domsum and also the Nyingmapa Domsum, and then others, some also the related to the Pon religions, before the Tibetan four schools established, so there Bon religion exists in Tibet. So Jiten Somgon, the teachings are, when we talk about other views means, actually it's referring to sometimes Bon Po, sometimes Sakyapa, sometimes Nyingmapa, in this time. So since we don't have time, so I don't want to give detailed explanation about what in the Sakyapa Domsum says, otherwise it's going to create more confusion upon you. I don't want to make more confusion, so I just want to give the brief explanation on the basic meaning on this root text, just to get some ideas about the Jiten Somgon's the views. So that the people claim that the three Dharma wheels are separated. Many people say that, these three Dharma wheels are separated, means the first Dharma wheels is not there's no relation with the second and third Dharma wheels, and the third Dharma wheels of the teaching is there's no relation between the first Dharma wheel and second one, and the second Dharma wheel has nothing to do with the first Dharma wheel and last Dharma wheel. So that means these three Dharma wheels are totally separated, unmixed the teachings of the Buddha, because the Buddha taught separately for those separately to those different capacities, different teachings, different topic, different meaning. So there's no relation each other. That's what other people says. Okay, now what is the Jigten Samgon? His view is within each of the will of the teachings, all three are complete. So that means, others say that the three will of Dharma are separate and unmixed. But Jigten Samgon means it's not separate. It's all three are complete, means the first Dharma will also has the meaning, the first Dharma will also have the meaning of the second one and third one, and the second Dharma will also has the meaning of the first one and the last one. The last Dharma will also have the meaning of the first one and the second one. So that means all the teachings are like the sort of like mixed. I think this is the same as like that, you know, like let's say, actually there are different lessons, like the first grade, second grade, third grade, whatever, you know. But actually, basically, all these the lessons are actually depending on all the alphabets are same, you know, whatever A to the Z alphabets are, no matter what kind of subjects you are studying, highest level, but it's all the formative of those the subjects are actually the best on the alphabets, you know. Maybe in the first grade, might they say just like A and the apple or something, and then also when the second time in the third grade, second grade, third grade, maybe that kind of the words of the apple, it's explained into more, the sentence are maybe the longer, and then also it's combined with some other verbs and adjective and etc. So that actually can understand in deeper way. So similar to that way, actually what Jigten Samgon mean to say is that all the teachings of the three Dharma wheels are not totally separated, is not unmixed. So that means there are actually kind of the connections of all the teachings of the Dharma. So it doesn't mean that the first time when the Buddha give teachings about the Four Noble Truths, it doesn't mean that Buddha never taught about Four Noble Truths on other occasions. Even before just Buddha Shakyamuni, he passed away, at the time of the Parinirvana, he taught Four Noble Truths of the teaching. There are some stories. So that means the wheels of Dharma are actually not separated, and those teachings are actually interconnected, and each of the Dharma wheels are actually exist all the others, the meanings. That is what Jigten Samgon actually mean to say. Now the sixth one is, I'm still kind of like difficult to manage to complete the target. Anyway, let's see. The Vajra statement, the sixth, the people claim that although there may exist in that way of cognition in the meaning of this Dharma will, it is not clearly expressed. So some people say, you know, it is again, this Vajra statement is again connected to the previous one. Yeah, it is true. It is true that, I mean, it is true that it may exist that way, means the first Dharma will also actually exists, the second and third, the wheels of teaching, the third, the wheel of teaching also may exist, the meaning of the first and second Dharma will also may exist, the meaning of the first and the last Dharma will, but he said it means it is not clearly expressed, you know. So other people are saying, but it's not clearly expressed that in the first teachings of the Dharma, there's not clearly expressed the meaning of the second and third one. And then second wheel of Dharma teaching is not clearly expressed the meaning of the first and the last one. So the people say like that. But the Jiten Sungwan, he said, it's mentioned, it expressed clearly, what Jiten Sungwan he want to say is, the seeds of each, seeds of each of the letter, the wheel of Dharma exists in each of the earlier ones. The seeds of each of the letter one means the seeds of the letter one, example, like the second, the wheel of Dharmas, second, the wheel of Dharma seeds exist into the first wheel of Dharma. And then the last, the wheel of Dharma seeds exist into the second wheel of Dharma. So that means, I think as I mentioned earlier, as I give you an example that actually in order to step into the second grade or second class, so you have to study the basic things in the first class. So that means there's some kind of like the seat is already there in the first class, So the Jiten Sungwan said that the seats of each of the letter wheels of Dharma exist. Each of the earliest one means here Dharmakirti he give one example. So when Buddha Shakyamuni he taught the first noble truth at Varanasi, so that time he already talked about some meaning about the second wheel of Dharma. Example, when you talk about the suffering and cause of suffering and the cessation and the path. So these are the four noble truths. That time, the Buddha said, the suffering is nothing to be understood. At the last of the four noble truths, he repeatedly, each of the noble truths, he taught three different ways. And the last, the teaching, he said that suffering is nothing to be understood. So that means actually in the ultimate way, the suffering is nothing to be understood. That means actually kind of related to the meaning of emptiness, which is the meaning of the second Dharma wheel. And then also he said that the origin of suffering is nothing to be abandoned. Actually, we said that suffering, the origin of the suffering has to abandon, but in the ultimate truth, the suffering is the cause of suffering is nothing to be abandoned. So that's also again that meaning is related to the emptiness. So that means the Jiten Sungwan he says that when Buddha he talked about this, the suffering is nothing to be understood. Origin of suffering is nothing to be abandoned means that is already the seeds of the second Dharma wheel is already exist into the first Dharma wheel. I hope you understand. That's a kind of just a brief explanation, because the time is running out. So now I just would like to just end on this, the seventh one. I try to complete, and then we will end this lesson. I think it's going to be very late for maybe all your Singaporean and Vietnamese people. I think about 10 o'clock, which is your time to go to bed. So what is the statement of the seven? The people claim that the three wheels are differentiated through the particular places, times, and so forth of the proclaiming them. Okay, so some people say that there are three wheels of Dharma because of the three places. Varanasi, the first noble truth, he taught in Varanasi. Second one is he taught in Rajgiri. The third one he taught in where? Kushinagar. Because of the three places, so there are the wheels of Dharma. Some people say like that. And some people say another reasons, because there are three wheels of Dharma, because of the time that Buddha he taught I think about 17 years or something. He taught after he achieved enlightened mind, and then he taught Varanasi until he taught the second Dharma wheel. There was, I think, around 17 years. That the time is considered as the first Dharma wheel. And then also once he trained the Dharma wheel at Rajgiri, and then till he taught the third one, I think about 20 years or something. That period of time is considered as a second wheel of Dharma. And then third time when Buddha, he taught at Kushinagar, the final his Dharma teachings, that is considered as a third Dharma wheel. Because of the 3 times, therefore 3 wheel of Dharma. And then some people say, no, not because of that 3 times and 3 times and 3 places, because of the 3 families, because of the Hinayana or Shavakayana or Pratyeka Buddha, because of that, and because of the Mahayana family, and because of the kind of various the family, since there are 3 different kind of the families or 3 different kind of like capacities, so therefore 3 wheels of Dharma. So if someone asks why there are 3 different kind of wheel of Dharma, so some people say because of 3 places, 3 times, or 3 audience, 3 different kind of audience, therefore 3 different kind of wheel of Dharma. But the Jigten Sungwan, he said no, not because of the 3, not because of the places, time, but the reason is that through the meaning of the sutra and the vital points of meanings, the wheels are certainly 3. So Jigten Sungwan said because of the 3, through the meaning of the sutra. The meaning of the sutra means the when Buddha Shakyamuni first he gave the teachings at the Varanasi, that times in the sutra he said that when Buddha was giving teachings of noble truth, and then the god and goddess are appear in the sky, and they were throwing the flowers, and they were saying that which was not trained before. So no one trained the wheel of Dharma. So this is the first time that Buddha gave Dharma teachings. The god and goddess appear in the sky, and they say like that. So therefore, this is the first Dharma wheel. And again, the same times when Buddha, he gave second teachings, the wheel of Dharma at Rajgiri, then again, the god and goddess appear in the sky, and they are offering the flowers to the Buddha, and again expressing that, saying that the Buddha, he trained the second Dharma wheel of the teachings. So therefore, through the meaning of the sutra, this is the meaning of the sutra, and then also because of the vital points of the meaning. The vital points of the meaning means here the Dharmakirti also mentioned there's 3 different things. The first, the Dharma wheels is actually the talking about the introducing the first Dharma wheel about the noble truth, 4 noble truth is introducing the cause and result. The cause and result is that's the meaning. And then the second the wheel of Dharma teachings is second wheel of teaching is arising the emptiness as a cause and result. The emptiness is arising as a cause and result. That is the meaning of the second, which is the second time the Buddha taught. And then the third one is that when Buddha taught the third Dharma teaching, that is the meaning of the third one is the Buddha taught the non-duality. There's a non-duality of the emptiness and cause and effect, and the emptiness are not separable. That means the meaning of the duality. So therefore there are 3 wheels of Dharma. the meaning of the sutra and the meaning of these vital points that I mentioned briefly. I hope you understand a little bit. So this is today the first session that we completed. So I hope you understand a little bit. Actually, I try to teach more, but somehow I could not finish more with the statement. Thank you very much for joining the today Dharma teachings, and then see all of you in the next session on next Friday. And once again, thank you very much for all the audience and all the translator, and also Brother James that to arrange all this wonderful program. Thank you very much, and good night, and good afternoon, and good morning. Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, you may now unmute yourself and to wish Khenpo good night, and also to thank him for the lesson. Please do so now. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Khenpo, Rangdol, for your beautiful teachings. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Khenpo.
Nice Friday.